10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Your go
4,
for APU shutdown on time.
2, 1, liftoff.
Go and throttle up.
This is Escape Pod, part of the Outbreak Podcasting Network. Visit our website at outbreakpodcast.com. And now here's your hosts, Tony Brown and David Anthony.
Welcome out to this episode of Escape Pod. I'm your host, David Anthony, and this is
Tony Brown, that guy right there.
Woohoo! And this is Deandra Buskill.
I'm Deandra, not on the t-shirt.
We love Deandra. This is a small council tonight, but you know what? We have so much to talk about.
Some people might have not made it through the war last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
It was a long night for a lot of people, so not everybody could be here, and that's okay. There will be 3 more podcasts after this one, and I'm sure we're going to have more people. Hell, the last one may be standing room only. You never know.
87 people on the podcast.
It could happen.
Just
Could happen.
Just a wall of people.
I'll
Like
just
the white
send a
wall.
mic out in the driveway and
What did you guys think? We loved it. Man,
Tony, I'm here in front of my house interviewing 27,000 people.
I envision the episode of SpongeBob where he makes the pretty patty. We want pretty patties. Just everyone lined up around your house. And
Yeah.
Can you project it to the big screen you use for Halloween on the garage?
What's that?
The show. Just have a live showing on the last episode. Whole neighborhood can sit
I mean,
in
if you
your
were going to have a
driveway.
live show of Game of Thrones, it should have been last night's. Holy
But maybe we ain't seen nothing yet.
That's true.
It's crazy.
It did better. The last 3 better be better than last night. I mean, it better be.
Nah.
And next week better not be like we're going to be calm and mellow.
Well,
I
I mean,
Well,
Tony,
shit
you
better
were just
still
given
be.
the longest battle history in cinema.
yeah.
But I need
You're
more.
so needy.
I'm addicted now.
He is. So yeah, next week's episode is definitely going to be, a getting things set for the next episode because
The last war, as Daenerys put it.
yeah, and that's episode 5. Episode 5 is the
I
next big
started to
battle.
get real sad last night because I was like, oh, there's only 3 episodes left.
Yeah,
So it's been a part of my life for so many years.
mine too. And we don't, and everybody that's watching. So, yeah,
Yes.
we love it. Absolutely love it.
I didn't
All right,
come
so-
into the second season, though.
You didn't?
No, remember? You got me into it.
I did. I got him addicted.
I think I started a second season too, as well, too. Yes. I started on, I watched season 1 when season 2 was coming out.
I think that's
And
what
then,
we were doing.
yeah, and then started season 2 from episode 1.
Yeah,
Way
and then-
back in the days
That's a
of
tongue twister, y'all.
It is.
burning DVDs. Because you were
man.
burning the shows and giving to me on DVDs. And
Yeah. And then that's the same with Melissa because I was passing to somebody at work, and she's like, "Hey, when they're done, can I borrow those?" Sure. And they were like, "We're gonna do a podcast.
Was
you
it
want to be on it?" Heck
2011? Something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, been a while.
So
But
you probably got the whole area where we were sitting going. Because I'm pretty sure those DVDs passed around to 10 different people.
yeah, I don't have any of them anymore, so they're all out there somewhere. But that's okay. We do not condone piracy.
No.
I
Unless
mean-
you're searching for booty.
But I look at it this way:
Hey.
everybody that watched those is a Game of Thrones fan who is actually
who-
paying.
They all pay for their own individual HBO subscriptions.
Exactly.
Yes.
Except
Every
for
single
Tony
person.
comes over and watches with me. But
But see, you're paying for it.
I am
so-
paying for it. That's true.
And I'm
Yeah,
paying for
Tony's
it by
a
having
guest.
to be here.
It's a trade-off. Tony brings food and other things. Goat's milk.
Goat's milk.
Anyway,
Tommen's
So this-
Giant's Bane.
fucking started right where it left off, did it not?
Yeah. Yep.
With a
Out on the
whole bunch of scared fucking people in the beginning.
that was
How could you not
good.
be? How could you not be scared?
That was definitely warranted.
It's the Night King.
Poor Sam.
And it's snowing and it's dark.
Yeah, they hand him some dragon glass. That's where it really starts, right there. And
Yeah.
and he's like, "Go." Oh, doesn't really know where to go. Kind
But I
of
thought
thing.
Tyrion picked up his 2 flagons of wine.
Yeah. Throw him on his shoulder. Gots to go.
I thought Sam would have had a little bit of in him, though, since he knows all you got to do is go pokey poke, and then they die.
Yeah, but pokey poke to 1 is different than pokey poke to 200,000.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's a lot of dead.
That's a bit of dead people.
I mean, it was a literal wall.
And over 40 of the whites. So
Oh, man, the whites.
was it Caster's
Craster's Bastards.
Bastards? Yeah, there you go.
Should be a band name.
Probably
Okay,
will
so
be.
so much happened. I don't really remember the full order of things in the beginning.
Well, I guess it went around and showed a lot of the troops lining up and just kind of the different where people were like on the wall and all that.
Okay,
and
yeah,
then,
and
then
Jorah and the Dothraki were in the front.
right, and then the big next thing would be the Red Woman.
Yeah, you just see
Making
the
her
mysterious
appearance.
horse
Bad
coming
bitch
out
alert.
of the darkness.
Yeah.
Here she comes.
Yep.
Listen,
yep.
people hate Melisandre. She is one of my fucking favorites.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know why? Because her character is true to her character this whole series long. She is, I don't give a shit about none of you all. I'm here for the Lord of Light.
Yep.
I don't care what you're doing. You're just pawns in his scheme.
Yep.
And I kind of forgot about her. That's why I was like, who the hell's on the horse coming out of the dark?
Out of nowhere,
Excuse
right?
me.
Yeah, like
And then I was
who's
like,
got that kind
oh.
of balls to just be riding around in the darkness when all of the fucking White Walkers are coming around?
I thought about it in last episode. She said she had to die in Westeros.
Yep.
And that she had to come back, and we hadn't seen her yet. So
Yeah.
I was like, they're not going to just have her show up 2 seconds before the battle.
And there
they
they
did
did.
it. There
Yep.
she was, 2 seconds before the battle.
Well, and then Sir Davos, he's
Yep.
like, oh, you know, books it on the front, meets her.
So
You know,
all of
he
us,
was ready to pull his knife
Yeah.
and stab her.
we thought he was going to stab her. Like, I thought legitimately he was just like, hey, bitch,
Yeah.
long time no see.
I think he'd be within his rights.
Yeah, well, didn't he tell her when John
Ne-
Bannister from
yeah,
Winterfell?
if I see you again, I'm going
I'm
to
going to
kill
kill
you.
you
Yep.
for Shireen.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Shireen.
Yeah. And then he's like, you know, or she's like, you don't have to do that. I'll die before the dawn.
Yeah.
Just let me do some stuff.
Let me do a few things while
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. And then when she,
She lingered.
yeah, do you speak their tongue? A little Dothraki.
Yes.
And then everybody pulls out their sword.
Pulls out their.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and then, I mean, when it lit up and that
Gave me
pullback
goosebumps.
shot, when it's like, oh, that was so bad.
Yeah.
that was
Sound
awesome.
effects
sure.
are free, by the way.
Freeze, yeah. Yeah, I got goosebumps. And everybody watching it at my house, we all were like, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
It's like in The Lion King when he's like, say his name again. Mufasa. All of us. Ooh.
That's another podcast we'll have to do, too. Ooh, that's coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, so,
And that's kind of when they pulled away to John and Danny on the mountaintop, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
the big overall view.
yep.
Watched them all take off.
Yeah, and then they were up there watching, and then the Dothraki just takes off doing what they do.
With Ghost
Yep.
and Jorah.
And Jorah.
And Jorah. And there's a few Dothraki made it back.
And I was like,
But
Ghost
not
is
a
going
lot.
to fuck some people up.
Yeah.
They didn't even show him fuck anything up.
No, I was so
Yeah.
mad.
But that's,
I just don't think it probably takes so much time to make a shot of Ghost
yeah.
to them. Plus, they spent how long? 56 days filming this. I'm sure
Yeah.
they were just like, look, this is the finished product of this. You're going to have to get over it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
at least one.
I
though, just
guarantee
him
you-
just soaring through the air,
Yeah.
just like ripping one's head off and
But
landing.
dude, I think that's going to happen. But that's going to be in episode 5.
Oh, you
Toward
think
the
they do it
end.
against the Golden Company?
Yeah, probably something like that because it's going to be day shots, a lot easier to do.
What if they take Ghost and get Nymeria in the Riverlands?
They said,
Oh,
Nymeria's supposed to come back.
yeah, Nymeria is supposed to make another appearance. They've said that, so let's hope,
that'd be awesome.
yeah, that happens.
Wolfpack.
Yeah,
Wolfpack's back together.
we'll pack for life.
Well, the 2 remaining of the Wolfpack.
A little bit.
Well, that and her actual wolf pack,
Right.
that follows her around.
I should say of the remaining dire wolves.
Yep.
Because all the other ones have died.
Yeah. Sad deaths.
Poor puppies.
But yeah, so
Watching the Dothraki just
Out like candles.
slowly
Yeah,
just
it's like-
go
It's like-
out. And you're like, okay, these are the craziest warriors.
yeah, that's
that
what they're
we
known
know
for.
The
about-
screamers not making a noise and all of their
Yes.
lights just going out silently.
That's
Yeah.
the whole, oh,
Yeah.
shit. Where do we
Yeah.
go?
And then
Yes.
everyone on looking shit their pants,
Yeah, a few
tightened
horses
their belt
coming
to another
back.
buckle and was like, okay, this is a lot worse than we thought.
Yeah. Well, and then of course Danny, she's obviously upset, and she kind of like breaking protocol.
Yeah, and John grabbed her
Yeah,
arm
and
and
John's
was like,
like, you know-
whoa, no.
And then she's
Think about the bigger picture here.
pull away, and she, boop,
Gone.
yeah, you bent the knee. She's your queen. Better listen up.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
So
Go ahead.
she roasted him.
Oh man, that was so awesome.
And then John roasted him.
Yep.
And then the creep
The storm.
storm came in.
Yep.
That was one of my favorite parts of the whole episode. The dragons just being, not being able to see and not being able to fly around, and
When they ran at each other, that was
the tension
awesome.
of them possibly, like the Night King's dragon busting out from anywhere, any second.
Yep.
Just, I don't know about you guys, but the whole time, just vibrations. I couldn't stop shaking. So intense.
Yep.
Oh,
and the
yeah.
scene when they broke up over the storm, though.
Oh my God.
Was just
That was the prettiest
awesome.
thing ever.
They were just up there for a second, like, oh shit, where'd
And
you go?
I just was like, oh my God, move around. You're a sitting target. You're a sitting duck. They're going to get you.
Well, somebody, I don't know if anybody has seen Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan, the one with Ricardo Montalban, the movie, where there's a scene where they go into the nebulous, I think is what it was called, something like that, where they can't see or anything because all the tracking stuff is off because of what they're in. And that reminded me of that when the dragons are just flying around blind because they couldn't, then they end up running into each other.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. That was just so well done. And I mean, it was tension for sure, but it was like, they didn't have to do that.
No.
But they did. And of course, it almost knocked Danny off and
And
we're all,
John.
Yeah,
you
there's
know.
so many anxiety-filled moments
So
in this whole
many.
episode.
But you're right, Tony, when they busted through the top
Yeah,
of the
it
storm
was
and
so
the
great.
full moon, and it was just, it was stunning. It really was.
reminded
I
me
mean,
how to Train Your Dragon.
the whole, really, it did. The whole episode is so dark, and I read today a lot of people complained about how dark their TV screens were.
You were even complaining about it.
I was complaining about it because I thought my
We
TV was
weren't.
broken. My brand new TV I bought just for Game of Thrones, I thought was broken. And then I looked it up, and they said it's just really dark. But anyway, Melisandre lighting the swords, and then the dragons busting through the storm, and it was real light with the moon. Those just showed you, at least to me, it was representation of how dark that time is. Like this episode, how dark of, it's dead in the winter, it's dead of night, it's snowing. The Ice King has brought the cloud of death.
Yeah.
So dark, and that's what those scenes I felt like were for, to make you realize the gravity of the situation.
Yeah.
And just the anxiety of looking out
Yes.
into the darkness and you don't know what's there.
You can't see anything
because you just watched all the Dothraki just disappear, and you're just like, shit, I can't see what's coming.
No.
So that makes you just more like,
Yes.
who's in the front line of all the White Walkers? Is it going to be the Giants?
Is it? Am I
You know.
shooting an arrow at a white? Am I shooting an arrow at my comrade? You can't
Yeah.
decipher. They did such a great job at building the anxiety and tension
Yeah.
in this episode. It was insane.
Well, when they finally did kind of break through the cloud, and then you saw the big mass of
just like
zombies
rolling
and dead,
wave,
yeah, that was great.
just like climbing over each other, just like a continuous,
Just like a
wave.
tsunami of dead.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and I've heard more people compare it to
World War Z, it
yeah,
seemed like.
exactly, which was cool.
Yep.
Because then we won't get ahead of ourselves, but some of the things that when they finally, I guess, revealed, the Night King finally revealed himself about 40 minutes in, then he's like, the first thing you see is him put his hand out, and then all of them are stopped because they've backed up and they've killed
Yeah.
most of the Dothraki, and they've killed most of the.
And they lit the moat on fire, so
And
they
that was
couldn't
the
go
same
anywhere.
time Melisandre lit the moat on fire.
Right.
I thought she was gonna die right there.
I did too.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's probably what they were, because it was just like knocked them back once she finally got it going.
And
Because
then
she was
they-
saying that chant a bunch.
Yeah. That's it. She was using up all of her energy.
Yeah,
Her,
to
I
light
mean,
that big of a
how do
fire.
you concentrate? Look, I mean, you gotta have faith. Literally looking in the face of death.
Yeah.
Face of death.
Yeah.
That's what she had to do.
yeah,
That's tough, guys.
yeah, yeah. Well, and then it, got lit on fire. It was fired up, and it was just, I mean, they tried to signal to Dany, and then they realized it's so
can't
dark
see.
she can't see it, so she doesn't know it's her cue to come in and light it up.
When that happened, and Davos says she can't see it, and Grey Worm's looking around, I was like, oh no, Grey Worm's gonna sacrifice himself. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Anytime they showed a main character in this episode, I was like, that's it. There goes that character. They're
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
When in actuality, if I had just let myself watch it play out,
but
Yeah, I totally
they
thought.
want you to. They wanted you to be
I know
anxiety ridden too.
they did a good job about it.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna do like Burning Monk and set himself on fire and then just dive into.
That's what I thought he was
going
gonna do to get
That's
it
what
lit.
Tony would have done.
Hell yeah!
I thought that, or he was gonna get like, 2 torches per hand or something to keep it going, and then put it in there, and in the time of him carrying it over there, a white get him.
Right.
But
Yeah, yeah. Well, I liked it how they showed him like shooting the arrows, and as soon as they'd hit, they
and
Go
you could
out.
hear like the ice, the crispy wind sound of the Night
yeah.
King. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crunchy. I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah.
Crispity crunchity wind. The coldest of winds.
Exactly.
And then they lit it. And then the whites, like, what, 2 minutes later were like,
They're just all standing
Like
there.
everybody got
That was
that whole
great.
like, okay, we can relax for a minute, we can regroup. What do we do from here? We've got time.
And then this
And
when
then,
the
no,
Night
you
King did
don't
his
have
hand.
time.
And he just like sends a few of them out to start filling up the pit with the dead bodies.
Yep.
And
I
they're
mean,
like,
he's got enough
made
of 'em.
a bridge for everybody else to start piling in. Oh, that was so awesome.
yeah, it was awesome.
Then they broke
And then they
through.
started their retreat. Whew, stressful.
And then the Unsullied were just like, protect the retreat. They were just ready to sacrifice
Actually,
themselves.
that happened before that because they were all back behind the
you're
line.
right,
But
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
And poor little Lyanna Mormont signaling the gates, opened and closed,
Yeah.
because she refused to not fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's a Mormont of Bear Island.
Well, as Dan and Dave, they said that when her
She was-
appearance was only supposed to be a few lines, one episode, but it was such a
She was so good.
and they're talking about the actress as delivering the lines as well as the crowd response, the fan response to her was
How do
just
you-
overwhelming.
Yeah.
That they gave her little bit parts next 2 seasons, and then they were like,
We have to write you out.
and not everybody gets that kind of death, and it was perfect. But some people are like, oh, I killed a child. It's like, yeah, well,
They've killed other
I was
children.
gonna say, isn't the first kid that died?
so
Tommen.
Yeah.
I mean, Tommen was really young. Ollie
The coolest king ever.
with his Sir Pounce. Oh, Sir Pounce. But seriously though, Lyanna Mormont's death scene.
yeah.
Was fantastic.
Did you all get the tiny? Did you all catch the little callback?
Well, I love it when he hit her and she's like, little squeaky sound when she got. It's like, oh shit,
Yeah, I thought that.
out of
I was
her.
like, really? That's how like. And then he
Yeah.
picked her up, and I was like, oh yeah. But the callback, she stabbed the giant in its blue eye, and it's a callback to season 1 when Rob is telling Bran about the story of Macumba.
Oh, I didn't catch that. No.
Macumba. The story of Macumba is that they all actually live inside of the eye of a blue-eyed dragon.
Oh,
And she stabbed a blue-eyed dragon. I
okay.
thought it was pretty cool. I don't know if anybody else. I'm just a big nerd, y'all.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
think
why
you
you're
might
here.
be one of the few. Because I didn't even read it. Because I was reading all kinds of things today.
I just
Trying to see what
just
people were
remembered
saying.
Rob's voice of Macumba when he stabbed him in the eye. I was like, oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Tiny little details, The
Well,
show is so intricate sometimes.
And as soon as she did it, the glass just fell apart.
Done.
But she was already,
Crushed,
they had her that bone snapping and shit. That was awesome.
But if you're gonna go, that bad, she took out a giant, y'all.
yeah, the
I'm
interviews
weird
of her
about-
afterwards, she loved it.
Little details of things. And the thing that really caught me, I was like, somebody really thought that out, is when they hit the ground, her head actually bounced off the ground. Instead of just a body falling, they thought enough to make it so realistic that her head just
Would
hit
have bounced. That's
and then
awesome.
fell back down.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, okay, that made it look like
Some physics.
real. Yeah.
I saw a meme today where it was a picture of Tormund, and
Yeah.
it said, "I killed a giant when I was 10." And then it was little Lyanna. It was like, hold my beer. Killed a giant white at 10, or however old she is.
Right, was.
Ooh.
Sad face.
All right, so where are we in the episode now?
So they're God, there's so much
They
that
broke
happened.
through the castle at this point. They're inside now.
Some of them are getting inside, and Arya starts getting chased.
Hang on. Back, rewind for 1 second
Yeah,
to
yeah.
bring up one point.
As far as you want.
They're going, the whites and the White Walkers, the Whites are the
Mhm.
intelligent ones, are coming up the walls, and Brienne and Jaime are fighting.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
ice defending Winterfell.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
Jaime and Brienne's sword
Both
is
have
both
part-
halves
yep.
of
Yeah.
the Valyrian steel of ice.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, it's ice. And my girlfriend was like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, both of their swords made Ned's sword. And she was like, holy shit, I didn't even think about it. You're right. And I was like, isn't that adorable?
It's precious.
Best friends fighting Winterfell.
And I'm just wondering
Besties.
why, when all these things were coming up over the wall, they didn't think enough to have big vats of flammable oil or something just to dump and light on fire and just.
I thought they were going to have, you remember the giant, almost like an anchor or a scythe that the wall let down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they were going to have that.
Yeah.
In all the medieval
'Cause they
era.
had
Yeah.
they had logs with spikes on them, and I
Yeah.
thought they were going to lower those and re-raise them or something, but they didn't do any of that
I
kind of stuff.
don't necessarily know that they actually thought they would climb on top of each other like a cheerleading pyramid to get to the
They
top.
had. I feel like they had to have though
Maybe.
because they
I don't
put
know.
Dragonstone like on the spires and
Yeah.
Dragonstone, Dragonglass.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how everybody attacks a castle.
And there
you know,
was
you
2 or
climb up the
3
walls.
times where you saw, bump up against just a little thing of the Dragonglass,
Yeah.
and they just shattered, which
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Especially
it's-
on like the spears, battlement, whatever
Right.
you call
Yes.
that kind of
Yep.
stuff. Yeah.
And that made me think, why didn't they just have like handfuls of it and just slinging it? Just,
Well, I don't
Yeah.
think they had that much.
Yeah,
Maybe
or with
they
the
did.
with the catapult, maybe just throw a big bunch of shards at them.
Why didn't they just pixie dust everybody?
Good. All right, Deandra. Gosh,
Jeez, guys.
running our dreams.
just have somebody skipping through the middle.
Ruin our dreams. Yeah, seriously.
Look what I can do.
Mr. Sandman.
Look what I can do.
Yeah, there were a couple questions that I was wondering why things didn't happen. Like, why the hell the Night King just didn't come in immediately and just be like, you're all dead. I mean, I know there'd be no episode, but...
Why didn't Frodo just fly the ring to Mordor,
Yeah,
Tony?
you know.
Yeah.
There'd be no books.
Right. Because, I mean, when he took the wall down, he's just like, haha, I'm here. What are you going to do? You know?
I have an ice dragon. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So they're in the castle.
Yep.
The Hound is freaking out. 'Cause
Oh,
there's
yeah.
all of the fire. As soon as the fire lights, you can see all the color drain from his face, and he goes and I mean, it's his ultimate fear.
Yep.
Yeah.
And-
It's fucking death. How are we supposed to stop fucking death? And it's just like, well, look at her, what she's doing.
Yeah,
And then-
Arya's running and running and running. The Arya using her badass
Darth Maul
Yeah.
Darth
sword.
Maul sword from
Hell
Gendry
yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
That was amazing.
And I liked, honestly, how at her, I mean, there's other things we can talk about too, but when she was on the run, as it were, when she got her head slammed against the wall, and that kind of,
Dazed her.
yeah, enough to where that took her a lot of her abilities away.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to like get her ass up and just go.
Yeah, she can. I feel like she concussed.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably.
And I
yeah.
think like I don't know. I thought maybe I was imagining it, but I thought in her scenes after she had hit her head, I feel like the sound was diminished. I feel like her hearing was off and some of her eyesight was messed up.
yeah,
Like I said, I could have sworn that the actual audio of the show went down when it
it
showed it
could
from,
have
from her
because
perspective.
they like doing that kind of thing. To,
Yeah.
you know,
So
to
I
get
think
you in
she
the moment.
Yeah, I think she concussed and was like, "Oh fuck,
'Cause
I am not
before that,
100.
she
percent I
was
got to get
doing
out of here."
Cool Jackie Chan flips down stairwells over the...
Over the walkers,
Walkers,
yeah.
yeah.
And then on the rooftops, and she's like slinging snow at them, and
Yeah.
it was just her whole fight scene was awesome.
Yeah. But like I said, bringing her back down a notch made it even more intense for all of us because we were like, oh shit.
Now she's back to just a regular awesome warrior,
Yeah, exactly.
not no one.
And thinking about it, I think that kind of foreshadowed it because you're like, oh, she's kind of out of the picture now. She's just on the run now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's why, well, we'll get to that.
Well,
That's
they did.
not
I mean,
there
they did
yet.
such a good job of basically bringing the entire audience to like this. There isn't going to be an episode 4, 5, and 6 because it ends tonight.
Yeah, they made it seem like every single one of them was gonna die.
Yeah, when Jon Snow was running through and he was looking at all of his friends like, oh, shit, they're about to die, but
I don't
can't
have time
do
to stop and
anything.
save them.
Yeah.
But when Arya's doing her escape scene and she's in the library,
Yeah.
she made no sound. Did y'all notice she made zero sound? Not a
Silence.
single sound except for her own blood dripping.
Yep.
How? I don't know.
Yeah.
But then the blood dripping and she stabbed the one walker right in the throat.
That one got me.
And I was like, are they like zombies? Is she bit? Is she now
Yeah.
a walker? And they're like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Most jump scares never get me, but that one got me.
That one got me too.
I was like, shit.
And then she meets up with the Hound and Barrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Barrack, I mean, he was taking them a bunch of hits.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's, you think he kept him bringing him back because he had something important to do.
He did.
And then when you realized what
it was
it
for?
was, and then it was like, well, his whole being alive was to save Arya. Arya must be important as fuck.
As fuck.
But you didn't really register that.
It was so fast paced. My brain didn't click it either.
Yeah, which was great.
And then they get into the next room, and it's just her and the Hound.
Yeah.
Because Barrack dies as soon as they make it into that
Yeah.
room.
Once her and the lady speak, and she says, reminds her about the eyes, and the last one she says is blue.
Yeah, and she says, and what do we say to the god of death?
Not today.
And I thought she's gonna go be safe in the crypts.
Nope. I immediately started air punching. I was air punching in my house, and all the people in my house were like, "What are you doing? Why?" I was like, "She's going to kill the Night King. Blue eyes, Night King."
Yeah.
And they were like, "No."
I didn't get that. I mean, I didn't.
I didn't either.
I
I
just
seriously
thought
thought she was
because
running off to be
after
safe.
that, they went back to other things like, we talked about John running through. But let's get to there. There was the
So much in between that.
once the Night King finally made his appearance.
by coming out of the crispity crackery storm.
Yeah. Then he's
On the
like
dragon.
Then he's like chasing them down, and he is right on Daenerys' ass.
I thought he was going to burn Danny up.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I thought Danny was gone.
Yeah, and that was
So close.
yeah, and then
They could have burned her hair or something at least.
Yeah, well, and then when it spun around, and it was then John's dragon was
Rhaegar was ripping at
they
Viserion's
were both
ro-
just
when he ripped at his rotted throat and part of his throat came off and like his flame
fire
Yeah.
thing was
squirted
exposed and
out.
it was just like
Dripping,
coming out of
yeah.
his neck. That shit right there. Those kinds of things make this show for me.
yeah,
God, it
definitely.
was so awesome. Just and then he took him to the ground. I thought Rhaegar bit it.
Yep.
I thought Rhaegar was dead.
Yeah.
Because John never got back on him. You never heard out of him again.
Yeah, and then when the Night King gets somebody else said it was like in Die Hard when Hans Gruber was falling to the, when he just kind of like, oh, there's the Night King falling to the ground. You're thinking, and then when Dany comes up and has got him in his sights,
And
he's
she
just
does the
looking at him.
Dracarys.
Yeah, and the music changes because that's her music.
Her music, yeah.
Yeah, and you're sitting there, and she's, I mean,
Drogon's
holding
giving it everything he
everything.
has.
And then it was like after that, and then it's he stopped, and she's just sitting there watching, and the flames. As soon as I was, oh fuck, it's like the T-1000.
Yeah.
It's just gonna fucking walk right out.
Yep.
That's when you're like, John, run, go stab.
When he
Run,
didn't
run,
die
stab 'em.
from fire, I was like, the Night King's a Targaryen.
Yeah,
He has to be.
Yeah,
He's the only one that's immune to fire, and he's immune to dragon fire.
yeah.
He has to be Targaryen.
Like she is.
I know, but
Yeah.
still.
But yeah, and then I loved because people, everybody, John's the hero, John's the big
John's
savior.
got to get there. John's the
And-
Lord of Light.
And John starts running, and then the Night King
he does
just
the thing.
yeah, does his hands out like that, and then John starts running when he starts seeing all his eyes open up, and I mean, then you see like what's his face, Ed.
Ed, poor Ed, yeah.
Yeah, is Ed and his blue
Ed,
eyes.
Lyanna wakes back up.
Yeah. Yeah, and then all the other people, when you see Dothraki, when their eyes pop open, and you see the Unsullied and their eyes open, I was like, oh
He's
shit!
screwed.
And
He's
then
dead.
they all
There
start
goes
standing
Jon.
up as he's getting closer, and then finally he's like, there's a wall of them around.
So while all
Night
this is
King.
going on, my mom goes, he can't die. I'm like, why? He's gonna, what? Why? Him and Danny haven't finished fighting about the throne.
There's
She
some
said
logic in that.
They have to finish their argument. And I was like, okay, I'm banking on this. They can't die. And then Danny came in, swooped in, and did the
Yeah.
Drogon flame and
Yeah.
saved him.
But wasn't it badass though? The
Yes.
ant farm that just started piling on him.
Raising from the, oh my God.
But well, I mean, it was like he's sitting there, the dragon, and then all of a sudden, they start piling on him, and
Yeah.
they're stabbing him.
Yeah.
And Danny's, gets thrown off, obviously, onto the ground, and he takes off, and he's
trying to
shaking
shake
him
'em
off.
off.
Yeah,
And the poor
Perfect.
sounds, like they make, clearly dragon noises are not real, but they do a damn good job of making me feel sorry for that animated CGI son of a bitch.
yeah, exactly. And then, well, Jorah, who's
When
sadly
Danny,
on the board, when he hears the dragons that close, he stops what he's doing and he takes off.
he hears Drogon crying, he knows Danny's in trouble, and he runs
Yep.
to save the love of his life.
Yep. What a way for him to go out, though. That was,
When Danny fell off Drogon, I thought she was done.
yeah.
I really thought that
That was it.
was it. I was like, she has no defenses. No one's around. She's dead.
Yep.
Nope. Here comes good old Jorah Mormont.
But I like how I mean, not that she did much with it, but at least she picked up a sword
She did.
and was attempting to, and she's made a few stabs, made
Yeah.
a few cuts.
I'll give her that.
Yeah. So, I mean,
My only sadness about Jorah losing this battle is that I wanted him so badly to look up at her as he was passing away and just be like, "Khaleesi."
Yeah.
One last time.
But he was actually mumbling something, or at least his mouth was moving, but we couldn't hear it.
Yeah, maybe he was. I don't
So
know.
we don't really know.
It's got to be drug out like you always did. Khaleesi.
So after all the craziness and the crypt and
But before that, though, when Drogon came back and laid down,
Oh
next
God.
it kind of like
He like hugged around
Yeah.
him.
thank you for saving my mom.
but then again, that was after.
Yeah, that's after.
See, so
But-
we ain't got there yet. I know you're excited, dragons. But the thing that I guess the next thing was when he raised everybody, and a lot of people were like, they're in the crypt, and like, that's not gonna happen. They've
called
been
it,
dead
y'all.
too long.
I
You
called
did.
this.
You did call it.
And literally in the middle of the episode, I was like, I called it.
Yeah. And then at least we didn't have like Ned running around with no head.
I
going,
know, that would've been-
that would have been bad. That would have been like Disney Hocus Pocus or something.
I wanted Sansa to just like spin that cape around and just beep beep on everybody, but
Yeah.
she didn't.
No.
But the scene between her and Tyrion,
Yes.
I cried.
Yeah, I thought.
I thought
for
they
a-
were. Go ahead, tell me what you thought, and I'll see.
I'm telling you, I thought they were going to be like Death Pack. Like
Me too.
Like if it gets to it, I'll kill you, you kill me.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. I thought they were just gonna go ahead and,
then
stab
he
each
grabs
other.
your hand and he kisses it, and
Because they
that
gave
was
each other
cool.
the look like we got nowhere to go.
See, Tyrion and Sansa's whole just playing off of each other, like they go so well together because
Yeah.
they're both so intelligent and they have these quote handicaps in the world that they live in. Tyrion's being his stature and Sansa's being a woman.
Right.
Neither one of them get taken seriously, but they're both so good at what they do that I think that's
Right.
why they mesh so well together.
and I loved her line talking about.
We never would have worked.
Well, that one was good too, but out of all my
You,
husbands, you were the best one of them, and he's like,
Really? That's terrible. And she says, we never would have worked. And he said, why is that? And she says, because of the Dragon Queen,
yeah,
who he's clearly in love with. And then Missandei got real pissed, which,
Yeah.
to be fair, Missandei has all the right because she's like, don't be talking shit about my queen.
Yep.
yeah,
We were in chains.
Yeah, and she saved us.
yep. God, it was so good.
It was great.
good.
The crypt scene was, I thought Gilly died, but I guess not.
Yep. So sorry. So let's get to the next part, which is, the Night King's finally in. John's trying to get to him, and the other dragon is
Zombie Viserion. Oops, sorry,
That's
hit my
all right.
mic. Zombie Viserion is just dragon firing everything.
yeah, trying to and pretty much trying to keep an eye on John, trying to get to him.
Yeah.
So and he's just like
He's hiding.
running behind stuff. Yeah.
I said out loud, I was like, stand up and be the unburnt. Although I know John can be burned, and I don't know if blue dragonfire is the same as red dragonfire, but I was like, you're a Targaryen. Just stand up. Because at the time, I thought John had to save Bran. I thought
Yeah.
it had to be John. That's what that's
Yeah.
what I've been thinking this whole time. It's had to be John.
Well, even in that scene from like the week before, like you see him and you think there's like a bush behind him. You think he either he's killing Theon because he's turned or something's happened,
Right.
or he's after the Night King, and it wasn't like that. I'm so glad that those predictions, a lot of that stuff people were thinking, including myself, were wrong because it was so great the way they did it. But then, so then the Night King is coming in. He had his moment, his redemption, pretty much.
Theon has been redeemed in my book for a long time.
Right. But
Well,
to
This is-
himself.
To himself, by Bran telling him, you are a good man, he died with his redemption. And I feel like that's Tyrion's, not Tyrion, I'm sorry, Theon's, it was his ability to go and be okay with it.
Yep.
To be okay with himself. Because up to that point, he wasn't, clearly.
When Viserion was creeping up on John behind the rock, and I thought that's when Dany was going to die. Because I seriously always thought that he was going to kill her. So I thought maybe she was going to push John out of the way, thinking she could survive the fire.
Oh,
but
yeah,
because it was blue fire, it was actually going to kill her. I thought that's where she was going to die.
Gotcha.
saving
That would have
Jon.
been,
Right.
yeah.
Because I was like, oh crap, this is where she dies.
But thankfully, they both lived.
Exactly. And a lot, and when it's finally the Night King and it's Bran,
And they say nothing.
1-on-1, and he reaches back for the sword just like he did the other three-eyed raven in his little nest, and he pulls the sword out and
I
kills
thought
him.
Bran was gonna jump up and go.
That's what he thought.
Fuck, he
I'm
didn't.
like, no, he's yeah.
I thought-
I thought he was kidding all along that he
this
couldn't
episode had
stand
my
up.
anxiety so high. I thought for some crazy reason for like half a second that Arya had killed Bran and had Bran's face on, and she was just gonna like pull Bran's face off and stab him.
Yeah.
But better happened. Better outcome.
Much better.
Much better.
But then, if you think back a few episodes when Jon is at the tree and Arya kind of appears behind him, and he's like,
How did you sneak up on me?
how did you sneak up on me? Well, obviously she has some really good stealth skills.
Yep.
But a lot of people were like, well, she came out of nowhere. She didn't really come out of nowhere. You got to think the whole Godswood is surrounded by a wall.
Yeah.
So
she could have been in the tree.
Yeah, and coming off around the wall and then just jump down in
Yep.
toward the Godswood.
The
I think she
library
used the
scene
tree.
showed how silent she could be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So many
exactly.
scenes leading up to this have shown how silent. Here's what these dudes making this show have done, y'all. They have just ever so slightly been hinting at it being Arya for so long, and I didn't see it until now.
Yeah, and they said they knew
We've
it was
known
going
for
to
3 years.
3 years it was going to be her.
And I liked that the one long-haired white dude, like his hair just went.
Yeah,
Like
he
you
just
saw
kinda-
something go by
He
and his
just
hair
kind of
just
he
went,
just kind of glances back, and that was the only real clue you had that something was up.
and something went by him quick enough. That it
And then
made
he
his hair
and then he turns the Night King and he grabs her by the throat.
And I thought she was
Oh,
dead.
I thought I was going to
like,
snap. her
Everybody,
neck.
everybody in the room
Yeah.
gasped. My mom screamed.
And she drops
She
her,
did the hand
drops
trick.
her blade,
Yep.
and then, and it's just as soon. As
Everybody in my house just like,
as soon.
oh!
Yeah, same here. Didn't I yell out?
They was
I
like,
was
"Yeah!"
like, fuck yeah! Oh
God, it
my
was
God.
awesome.
Yeah, it was.
And then everybody started crumbling.
One of the best. Yeah, everything. The dragon. They went from scene to scene to scene to just show everybody
John
just.
screamed at Viserion, and Viserion raised up and did his rattly raptor call and just
Yeah,
crumbled.
he was
and
just getting ready to blast him, and it was
Ah.
just gone. I mean, Arya saved everybody.
MVP of the series.
Yeah, saved everybody. I hope she gets some recognition for that in the next episode. I hope she.
Oh, she just
Something.
carrying her little body up. Like
Well,
she just scored the
at
winning
least
goal in the
a
World
Daenerys
Cup.
thank you or something. You
Seriously,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, because nobody earned it like
What if
she
she
did.
makes Arya her
Hand?
no, not the hand. What's Jamie to Robert Baratheon? The main White Cape Guard, whatever they're called.
I know what
Right.
you're talking about.
The King's Watch? No.
The King's Guard.
The King's Guard, yeah.
The leader of the King's Guard or whatever.
Yes.
So there's a name for it.
What if she makes Arya that? That'd
Good,
be awesome.
good. God knows she's earned it.
So, Melisandre told Arya, "You will end brown eyes, green eyes, and blue
Blue
eyes."
eyes, yeah.
There's now a very large theory. Brown eyes was Walder Frey and or Meryn Trant.
Yeah,
The Night King is blue eyes.
yeah.
Cersei has green eyes.
You think?
I don't know. I want the prophecy of the little brother to be true, but I also want Arya to kill Cersei at the same time. I just wonder if Jaime's gonna die and Arya takes his face. That's what I'm really hoping for at this point.
Yeah, and then sneaks up on her or gets close to her and then just,
And just ends her. Yep.
who knows? God,
And that's how Arya dies.
But we can finish with this episode.
But yeah. So now back to your point when Jorah. I mean, as soon as all the are dead and the dead.
Jorah
just
knows
far-
she's safe now.
Yeah, and then he's just like drops his knees. And he's like, oh fuck, Lord, thank God.
Oh shit, man.
I'm one tired motherfucker.
So tired of getting stabbed right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Seriously.
yeah. And then he kind of whispers off to her, and like you said, the dragon curls up to him. That was
Oh
so cool.
God! I saw a screenshot on Amelia Clark's Instagram today, or one of the Instagrams, because I follow like 20 different Game of Thrones.
But her
pages.
performance, her crying,
Her
she said,
crying
oh, that
over
was
his
real.
dead body. Yeah, it was definitely real.
Yeah,
Because she said he's her mentor, like her acting mentor.
yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, it was very real and visceral and raw. So
yeah.
it was done very well. At the end, I just sat at the end of the episode and was like, I don't even have words.
That's what David was like. When it was over, he's like, thoughts? I was like, I got nothing.
Yeah, he was
got
so
nothing.
spent.
Yeah, for real. I couldn't go to sleep for probably a good 2.5, 3 hours because I couldn't come back down.
Steph had gone to get Brianna, so she waited for us to get done, and as soon as Tony left, she came in the living room, and I watched it all again with her.
Yeah.
I watched it twice last night,
Awesome.
and it was just as good the second
Time, yeah. They did such a remarkable job of keeping a battle scene for so long, so lively. Like, I don't feel like there was a single moment where I was like, man, I wish they'd stop doing this already. At all.
Yeah.
By
And
any
it
means.
could have got that way if it was strictly nothing but just a hack and slash. If it didn't go into the different elements of the fight,
Oh, yeah.
then it could have gotten kind of that way.
I feel like going to the different characters definitely broke it up because it was displaying each character's point of view of this horrific.
And I think that's a lot of where the darkness came in.
Mm-hmm.
It's because when they were fighting in the courtyard, you couldn't tell who was winning.
No.
So you're like,
Yep.
are the whites winning? Are
I
the
feel
good
like-
guys winning? Like who's dying here? Our board just died.
No, it did. The screen went into sleep mode.
I think them doing all those fast shots of whites and people fighting for the living all going past the camera angles so quickly. Same. They made you think like, who was that? What was that? Who just died? Who just got stabbed? You can't tell.
Yeah.
Which would how it would be if you were actually fighting that fight.
Yeah, just the bodies just falling
Piling and
off
falling
just
and-
through the rafters, and John's like, "Oh crap!"
Is the blood living blood or blood of the
Yeah.
dead? Who or do the dead even have blood? Just we're gonna discuss the death board, the Deadpool.
But now it's like '80s neon.
This is also my screensaver at work.
Because I was all about how dark it was shot. I thought it added so
So much
much
stress.
anxiety and
Anxiety.
stress because you didn't know who was dying.
No.
You just saw everybody fighting.
Sweet.
So it looks like
Oh,
everybody
we
on.
forgot the very end of the episode. Melisandre
Oh yeah.
walked out of Winterfell, took her necklace off. The light and the ruby went out, and she turned to her crone self and died.
just
and I wonder
walked
if-
off and
And you
dropped
guys
her.
tell me what you think about it, but I feel like her main purpose for living this long was for what the Lord of Life wanted her to live for,
Yep.
and her telling Arya about Blue Eyes was it, and she fulfilled that purpose, and that was the end. That's the end of your run, homie. You
Yep.
did what you came here to do.
And I think when she went back, some people were thinking, well, maybe she's going to bring an army of the the witches with her, the red women with her.
The
but,
Red
but I
Priestess.
think whatever it was, she had to learn that so she could do all the weapons, that kind
Yeah.
of thing on fire. I think that's what she probably went back to
learn.
to learn that, so she could do that and fulfill the prophecy.
As I was saying, I think she spent all of her soul's energy.
All of her soul
to-
energy doing the things she did that
Yeah.
night, spending it all, what she had left.
So obviously the board doesn't carry up all the characters because there's so many actual characters, but it's kind of a representative of the main characters in the show. And what I based it off of was that these were all the actual official character posters released by HBO. So HBO, if they're important enough to give them their own individual poster, most likely they're an important enough character to talk about through the rest of the season. So that's what we made it and based it off of, and added everybody's name up there. So
If you had told me at the beginning of the series or season that this Night King would happen this fast, I would not have believed you.
yeah,
I would have thought he'd have been the last thing to happen in the show.
yeah.
I mean, I loved that it happened this way, and I'm still insanely excited for the rest of this 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I just never thought it would have played out this way, and
Yeah.
I think it's great the way they did it.
Well, and something else that I think needs to be brought up is that everybody's like, Dany's army pretty much got decimated.
Yeah, she didn't have anything left. She has some Unsullied left.
So now, when it comes time to taking on Cersei, even though she still has 2 dragons and a few direwolves, it's still
It's
a
going to be a
lot
tough fight.
more even battle than it was before.
I mean, yes, she has 2 dragons, but if you want to be the political monarch of 7 realms,
Yeah,
you can't just go in with dragonfire and kill innocents while you're trying to get rid of an army and expect people to respect you.
right.
In the opening credits, they show the scorpion spear
Yeah,
aiming towards the dragon head.
I mean, they did. You are right, and I
think
feel like
that's
one of
gonna
them might
come into
die.
play.
But I'm just saying, her
Or
army
both.
is much smaller now. She can't just go in there dragons ablazing because people won't like that.
right.
She's not going to get people to, want her to rule if she's just burning shit up.
Unless she just goes around and takes out the Golden Company on the ships, burn their ass.
They're in King's Landing, though.
I know.
You mean if they get back on
If
their ships?
they get back on their ships and be like, light them up.
So, yeah,
So,
is the war going to be King's Landing or is the war going to be in Winterfell?
King's Landing.
It'll be King's Landing for sure.
that's where they're
Cersei's
heading.
not leaving.
The next episode thing showed.
Shows the fleet. Targaryen
I've seen a
fleet.
lot of breakdowns today. Way too many breakdowns of that 45-second teaser for next week's episode, and at some part, because it is an hour and 18 minutes, the next week's episode, they collect all the dead and they burn the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So that we know that happens because we see it in the thing, and that's where we see Ghost.
Ghost is still alive somehow, some way.
Yeah, and then there's a scene where Dany is on her ships, and we flying her sails, and dragons flying over, and then there's a scene when he's up in the air, and you see both the dragons. So we know that there's both dragons are alive, and there's a lot of scenes cut to Cersei. I mean, they're heading that way. No.
Yeah, and don't they show Jon leaving Winterfell, and Sansa's looking kind of upset, so I feel like Jon is going with her, and Sansa's staying in Winterfell as the lady
They may
Winterfell.
both be on dragons.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
So
It looks like Rhaegal's wing is ripped. I don't know if you noticed that, but it
Yeah.
looks like there's a hole in one of his wings now.
yeah, but if they can fix Toothless's
Poor Sky
tail,
Puppy.
maybe they can fix his too.
Maybe.
What? The Vikings are good. No, wrong show. All right then.
It's a good movie, though.
It was. Even the new one. So Theon is gone, Night King is gone, Jorah's gone, and Melisandre is gone. But that leaves a whole lot of people still alive.
I could not believe that Brienne of Tarth made it through this episode.
Yeah.
Or Podrick.
Yep.
But they did. I was very happy. This was man, let me put it to you this way. We've been watching this show for how long? Like 9 years.
Yeah.
And I've also been building up in-game for 9 years. I
Yep.
watched both of them yesterday. And this will be a very unpopular opinion, but I thought Game of Thrones was 5,000 times better than the Avengers.
We won't talk about the Avengers. No spoilers at all.
None whatsoever.
Yeah,
I'm just
so-
saying.
Yeah.
This was the best TV episode of anything ever for me.
Yeah, I would agree. It was fantastic, and we still have 3 more episodes to go.
I just never thought I could get this anxiety-ridden and emotional over one episode of a TV show
Well, you got to look. We're like, we got all these characters still
that
alive.
we care
yay.
about.
Varys lives.
But I mean,
He's going to weasel his way out.
the episode 5 is going to take out a lot more of this board. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
And there may be even a few next episode. I mean, because right now we know Bronn is on his way to hunt down Sir
Jaime
Jaime
and Tyrion, yeah.
So will he get to one of those?
And what the hell was
We
up with
don't know.
Bronn? Just like, you can fight these guys. I'm just going to go and be a crow for a minute. I'm just going to go fly around. Like, where did he go?
Oh, you're talking about like when Bran wargs into the Ravens?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I guess he's probably just bored. He already knows everything's going to happen.
Yeah, so he's just like, I'm going to go now.
Well, I mean,
Theon's like,
but if
really?
if he didn't do that, that's what flushed out the Night King, because the crows found him, and that's when he started doing his stuff.
That's
He
true.
didn't
As
appear
soon as
before then.
when you
Okay,
see his
okay.
hand move first, it's from Bran's perspective of being in a crow
Yeah.
Okay.
or a raven or whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it.
So that definitely, I think
It
has
was a
something to do with
catalyst,
it.
I suppose.
Yeah, and we really don't know, what Bran actually knows, and what's, I mean, there's probably some things that he has hints of, but I don't think he's all seeing, all knowing, or it would end up a lot different than it is. If he already knew what the outcome was, I think that
Maybe he would tell people it already.
something, or
would think
you need to
so.
do this because you are the blah blah blah.
I'm just hoping that in the next few episodes before the series is over, that Bran's sight can give us more background about the Night King, because we still didn't learn anything.
Yeah, and
I
we may
didn't-
not.
I mean, we may not, but I feel like to be afraid of this character for 8 seasons and to know hardly anything about him, I just hope there's a little bit more of his backstory. Like, why didn't he burn? I think he's Targaryen.
Yeah, but and maybe that's one of those things they want to keep you guessing. They want to keep a mystery about.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, if you think about it, I mean, that was a huge threat,
oh,
and it's
yeah.
now gone, and they can now completely focus
On Cersei.
on Cersei, and that's like, to to me, that's, I mean,
Maybe
she's
they-
been super treacherous before.
Yeah.
And she has that, what, wildfire?
Yeah, she blew up the whole Septa Baylor.
Yeah.
Bitch is
And,
crazy.
and they used it when they were against,
In-
what's his name, ships?
Stannis' ships
Yeah,
in
Stannis'
the
ships.
Bay of the Blackwater.
Yeah, so, I mean,
old
I wouldn't
helm.
put her past her.
She's
Yeah.
gonna, you know what? If she's gonna kill a dragon, she's gonna fill a scorpion spear, with wildfire.
Good, yeah.
That'd be creepy.
Yep.
That'd be an awesome way for a dragon to go out. I mean, I hope both dragons live, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think whichever Dany or Jon, whichever one ends up on the throne, if one of them ends up on the throne, that's the only dragon to survive.
Or they both end up on the throne. Everybody's wrong.
Maybe
Could be. Or
Arya takes her face,
Sam is on the throne. 'Cause he deserves that.
or they demolish they break the wheel.
Could be.
What if it's Hot Pie? Because
Oh
he's going
my
to be the only
God.
one to live. Because when she was like, "How are we going to feed all these people?" He's like, "I'll go start making pies," and off
Hot
he goes.
pocket.
And he's going to come in with a
Hot
card of
Pocket.
them and be like, "Why is everybody dead?
Hot
Oh, I like
pocket.
this crown." And then he's king.
And then he's king.
Hot pocket.
Just sitting there
Sorry.
eating pies.
Hot pie, kidney pies.
Yep. You know the secret to making kidney pie. Sorry.
It's in the gravy.
it's in the gravy. Is what it is. Oh goodness.
Maybe it's Arya because now she's got a baby.
You think?
Here, listen.
Eh?
I concur, sir.
They were
I
making
think
out again in that.
in the preview, they
Yes.
were. I think that Gendry and Arya's baby is what Ned Stark had always hoped for, and I think it's going to happen.
Yep.
The Robert Stark cross that they
Yeah.
both wanted.
And when it comes down to it, maybe when this is all over, maybe there's no longer the one ruler over the seven kingdoms. Maybe they just
Rule their own.
rule their own and they all get along.
There
Or
are
not.
7 people on the top row. That's 7 kingdoms. Well, I guess
Yeah.
Missandei and Grey Worm would go off together. So there's
So would Jon
1,
and Dany.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Bran doesn't want to rule anything.
You're on Better Die Soon. I hate that.
That's stupid shit.
What
He's gonna. I think Cersei's gonna kill him. Cersei's just gonna get annoyed and
Cersei or
just slit
Jaime.
his
Yeah.
throat. Just
get annoyed with
you're
it.
fucking bothering me.
Yeah.
I got shit to do.
I just want Clegane bow, y'all.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
gonna
only other
happen.
thing I'm hoping for at this point. Clegane bow. Well, for Arya to steal Jaime's face. But realistically,
Yep.
I think Clegane bow's still going to happen, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Definitely could.
And
Definitely.
maybe the
could.
Mountain gets pissed off at Cersei and fucking grapes her eyeballs.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows?
You raped her. You murdered her.
Oh, that was a good scene.
That was super good.
Oh, Oberyn.
Yep.
So,
We're exhausted and spent because it was such a good episode. But gosh, we have 3 more to go.
Boo.
3 more. I'm fired up already for next. I'm ready for next
I'm
week
ready.
now.
Yep.
Ready for it right now.
I'm just glad Batman beat everybody in the Avengers.
And on that note, thanks guys for joining us, and we will be here. We will be here next week. Don't know who all is going to be on the council, but that's okay. I'm sure we're going to have lots of people.
Sorry, I
And
spoiled Endgame. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Escape Pod. If you enjoyed it, please like the episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you would like to be a part of future podcasts, then email us at outbreakpodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to visit our website, outbreakpodcast.com, for more episodes, show notes, photos, and other podcasts on the Outbreak Podcasting Network. That's outbreakpodcast.com.